Wow, GB Divide was fun, hey! Right, we are back, and I thought today we would have a bit of fun. We'd do something a bit different as we are on the second channel, more Keep Smiling Adventures. I thought we'd do the top 10 moments from the GB Divide route that I just finished, from John O'Groats to Land's End. Let's get into it. Top 10 moments of the GB Divide. Let's go! Okay, the first moment I want to highlight, it's a very random moment really, and a very unexpected one. It was when I was finishing the Wales section and coming back into England. Now, I have been over that bridge so many times in my life, and I've cycled over it countless times, but normally you've got cars whizzing over and it's just loud, and it's just kind of like, it's just like a droning sound of cars. But on this very early morning, the bridge was shut to cars. I'm sure it happens sometimes, but it's never happened in the times that I have gone over, and it was just so peaceful and it was so relaxing, which was so nice because like the few days before, the last 2 or 3 days had been non-stop rain. Today was the day I was hitting England, the sun was starting to shine, and what's even better, I was getting to go over the bridge in peace and quiet. It was just glorious. Such a random moment, but definitely on the top 10 things that happened to me on the GB Divide. Number 9 on the GB Divide, I am going to put this one. When I got to the point where I was just looking down on Manchester, that day was so tiresome coming over the Pennines and the Pennine Bridleway. If you've watched lots of my videos and where we've been up there, you'll know it always destroys me, it always hurts me, and I always never really enjoy it, to be honest. But finally getting to that point where I was just looking down over Manchester was just so magical. It was such a relief. I felt like the day had finally come to an end. I'd finally got all that hard stuff out of the way, knowing that I had a really nice long flat section all the way to Wales pretty much. It was just like a really nice feeling to get to that point. Looking down on Manchester, beautiful. At number 8, I am going to put the Dunfell descent. Now you come up this climb and it's a bit of a hike, and it's just all just like, it's a bridleway, but it's just like, it's all falling away and you can't really ride it, it's all boggy. But when you get to the top, you're at where these, you're on basically an access road to an observatory. And honestly, this descent is so good. Now I've cycled up it before, but I've never actually got to cycle down because I've always been going in the opposite direction. So finally getting to descend that, the Dunfell descent is just absolutely epic. You can watch the full descent on this channel as well. It just goes on for what feels like forever. It flows, the views are beautiful, the road is empty because it's just an access road, so you can just absolutely pin it and just absolutely enjoy it. Definitely one of the best roads in England, probably the best descent. Number 7 is going to be waking up on the Quantock Hills. Now, the day before, it was like a nice day. It was, you know, the sun had started to shine, and then it didn't rain just before I got into camp that night, but then it just calmed down. There was no rain. I woke up and it was dry, it was calm, the sun was super low, and the skies were blue. And then we got to cycle over Quantock and Exmoor that day, and it was just generally this absolutely beautiful moment because for the last few days I had battled through pretty horrendous conditions. So just getting that final relief, that final, it's like a little reward of waking up with this beautiful, this burning sun, and I was just like, yes, this is going to be a good day. And that day was a great day across Quantock Hills and Exmoor. One of the best days of riding, especially on the England sections of that whole trip for sure. And at number 6 was on the same day as the Quantock and Exmoor, getting up to, I think it was called Dunkery Hill, climbing up there. It was a Sunday, it was nice and early, there was a bunch of people up there, but it was just so beautiful, it was so clear. and just getting to the top there that day was just absolutely amazing. The views were just great, and I don't know, that day was just felt brilliant. It was just, everything was dry and everything was dry. There wasn't really any wind, it wasn't hot, it wasn't cold, it was just perfect. And Dunkery Hill, if you ever just get to go up there, just go up there, because it's just such a beautiful view. You can see these panoramic views just everywhere, and definitely recommend just getting up there if you can, hiking, biking, whatever. It's just beautiful. Go do it. At number 5 is finding pasties. Now, I was getting to the end of this trip at this point, and I hadn't found any pasties. This day, I basically did the whole of Cornwall in one go. And it was non-stop rain, it was really windy, pretty much just this relentless rainstorm, and all I wanted to do was to get some pasties. That was one of my goals for this trip, is make sure I get some pasties when I get to Cornwall, some real Cornish, freshly made pasties. Now, when I got to anywhere of significance, Hale, it was like 6:30, 7 o'clock. It was like a Monday or a Tuesday. I was thinking, oh, the places are all just going to be closed. This is Cornwall, they just have their own time zones. Luckily, just as I was leaving Hale, I found pasties, and I stocked up on a few pasties and ate them when I finished the trip and got back to the hotel that night. They were great. At number 4 is definitely going to be the Corrour estate. I have no idea if that's how you pronounce it. But going through there, I've been through there before, but it's just, I've been through there multiple times now, but it's just beautiful. And at this time of year, and the time of day I went through there, it was like low clouds, but it was just nice and cool. There wasn't really any wind. You just had these endless gravel tracks all to myself, because nobody was out there at this time of year. So beautiful. And it's probably the best gravel road in Scotland for sure. That beautiful road, basically all that section really is just definitely beautiful, and that's why I'm putting it at number 4. Let's go to number 3. Number 3 was riding Wales in the snow. Now, when I originally got to Wales, it was a scattering of snow, and then I broke my bike and I had to go back, fix it. And a few days later, I came back, and I knew the weather wasn't going to be great, but I just wanted to get back on the trail as soon as possible, and that was as soon as I could get there. So I got there, and it started hailing, it was raining, and then the snow. Absolutely just started coming down pretty heavy, and it was just absolutely beautiful, because what I got to do on a very early morning was climb a mountain, essentially, and just have this whole winter wonderland of snow as like a little playground for myself. And it was absolutely beautiful, breathtaking. It was fun to ride. Obviously when I descended it got very wet and rainy, but you know, being up there on my own, it was just absolutely beautiful, and definitely one of them moments I will always remember. I can remember standing on that top of that hill mountain thinking, there's no place I'd rather be. This is just perfect. Number 2 on my list of favourite moments from GB Divide is definitely waking up at the near bottom of Corrieyairack Pass. Now, the night before I'd climbed over it, and I was kind of hoping to camp like right at the top. There just wasn't really anywhere that great. It was just like completely frozen up there. Kind of expected that. So the next plan was just to descend. I kind of hoped to do that before it got completely dark, but it just got dark. So I did that in the night, and then I decided, right, I found a little bit of flat spot. I descended quite a way, nearly to the bottom, but not quite. Found this absolutely perfect little bit of flat ground, camped up, woke up the next morning, just greeted to these absolutely beautiful views for one. And then as I descended down the rest of this hill, which it took me a while to get out of camp because I was just enjoying the views so much. As I descended, the sun broke the clouds, and this was probably, I think this was day 3, maybe 4, and I hadn't seen the sun really. It'd been hiding behind the clouds the whole time, and it just hit my face, and it was just absolutely beautiful. Not only was that such a great moment, a few miles after I finished the descent, I came through a little nature reserve, and the deer was just everywhere, and they weren't like scared of me or anything. They were just looking at me. I just rode past them. They were just like looking at me, just like, it was just absolutely incredible. That morning was just absolutely incredible. Waking up on Corrieyairack Pass, descending with that sun in my face, and then just seeing all this like deer around me. It was just, that was such a great day anyway. Number one best moment of the GB Divide. It's a hard one. There were lots of great moments, but I think the best moment was after I arrived at Quantock, had my nice early morning breakfast, fueled up on iron brew. About 10 miles later, I would say it was, I'm going over this dam over by a lock. I think the lock was called Loch Orrin, I believe, and honestly, it was absolutely breathtaking. The views were incredible. The riding was just insane. This whole section was just absolutely incredible. But I've actually ridden this before, but last time I rode it, I had met another cyclist, so we were just chatting and we were talking, so I didn't really take it all in. This time I was completely alone, there was nobody around, and it was just absolutely beautiful. The Loch Orrin, that massive dam, that big bridge dam that I cycled over, and then all the trails up past there were just absolutely incredible. The views were just out of this world, and it was just, yeah, just absolutely beautiful. And that is why it's number one, because it was just incredible. So there we have it. There are the top 10 moments of the GB Divide. Hope you enjoyed this video. This is more Keep Smiling Adventures. You can go check out the main channel if you are not subscribed to that one. And till next time, keep smiling, enjoy the adventure.